Hi, so this is a second example of this problem type. It is going to be very similar to the first example, just a different set of numbers. But if you haven't watched the first video, I do recommend you watch it because it assumes that you understand the material from that video, okay? And it's just an extra example. All right, so this is the second video and the second example, but if you watch the videos on how to understand parabola, vertex, and axis of symmetry using graphing, it is the same as example 5 from that particular video. So it's, I don't think I did example 5 in that video, so never mind. It's a new example. So it's y equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. And we're looking for the vertex. And if you have the notes for this, step 1 is to set this equal to 0 and solve for the x-intercepts, because the vertex will be exactly halfway between the two x-intercepts. So if I know those, I can find the vertex. So I'm going to factor this to solve for the x-intercepts. So 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Two factors that multiply to negative 20 but add to 8, so it adds to a positive, so I'm going to use the smaller number as negative, bigger one is positive. That one doesn't work. That one does work. Negative 2 times 10 is negative 20, and they add to 8. So I'm going to use these and replace the middle term with those two numbers. So it's going to be 2x squared minus 2x plus 10x minus 10 equals 0. Notice this is the exact same expression as this in terms of value. I'm just using negative 2x plus 10x instead of 8x, but this actually simplifies down to the exact same thing. But what this makes easier is that I can group it in pairs now and factor each pair separately. So I'm going to factor out the GCF here, which is 2x. If I factor out 2x from this term, I get x left. Here I get minus 1. Here I get plus 10. Factor that out. From both of these terms, I get x minus 1. These are the same, so then this is the same as 2x plus 10 times x minus 1 equals 0. Solve, I get x equals 2x plus 10 equals 0, negative 5, and positive 1. So my x-intercepts are negative 5, 0, and 1, 0. Step 2 is find the x value of each x-intercept. So the x value here is negative 5, and the x value here is 1. So these are the x values of the x-intercepts. All right, so step 3 is find the exact midpoint of these. So add them and divide by 2. So negative 5 plus 1 divided by 2 is going to be negative 2. And that is going to be the x value of my vertex. And I have to solve for the y value. So my vertex is a coordinate on this graph, on this quadratic function of y equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. So that means that when I plug in negative 2 for the x value, and simplify this entire expression, I should get the correct answer for y for this particular point, which is the vertex. So y equals 2 times parentheses negative 2 squared. Remember to square the negative and the 2, plus 8 times parentheses negative 2 minus 10. So that's going to be positive 4 times 2 is 8, plus negative 16 minus 10, negative 26. That's going to be negative 18. So then the vertex is going to be negative 2, negative 18. The axis of symmetry for a vertical parabola, it's always going to be x equals whatever the x value of the vertex is. So x equals negative 2 is the answer.